Are you feeling the debt-pression? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So, just to begin this evening, I am presenting to you right here a very, very controversial piece, but definitely many will agree this is a very cool piece. And you're looking at right here the quote-unquote tariff king silver round. And this is coming directly from one of my favorite mints, the Intaglio mint. Right here, we have 1 troy ounce, 0.999 fine silver, a bullion piece that blends artistic political commentary with precious metal value. Aversely, it depicts a stern-faced Donald Trump donning a crown labeled tariff, a bold visual metaphor for his trade protectionist policies. Oops. Then we go to the reverse, showcasing Intaglio Mint's signature design, a stylized column forming the letter I, and then, of course, framed by the inscriptions Intaglio on the bottom, mint, established 2010. So, a very, very young mint. Then you have 1 troy ounce, 0.999 fine silver, great touch, all encircled by a dotted and star-ringed border. Very, very elegant. Then, how can we forget the best part, right? These are produced in brilliant, uncirculated condition. So, that's why it is just looking absolutely stunning. The piece measures 39 millimeters in diameter with a 3.10 millimeter thickness. These were launched this year, 2025. And let me kind of just get the fog off there because my hands are a bit sweaty. I apologize. It's humid in my house right now. There we go. These are marketed as both a collector's item and a political statement, appealing to investors centered on silver stacking and supporters intrigued by political memorabilia. It's available through various outlets. I was noticing that eBay listings show prices around $54 to $58, while other platforms like Limited Mintage list it closer to $50, which I think is absolutely, that's a no-brainer. In summary, this Tariff King round is a striking fusion of bullion and satire, a keepsake for collectors who want their silver with a statement. But great, great, great piece right there. And before I go any further, I want to give a quick shout out to my always loyal subscriber. This is Mustard and Biscuits. Given the news dropped recently, we might consider trying to spend silver at Cracker Barrel. Maybe not until they make some leadership changes, but maybe. Great comment right there coming from Mustard and Biscuits. And just earlier I was talking about it with my wife that, we need to go check out Cracker Barrel because I was in the mood for some of their pancakes as well as Silver Sun. He wanted some pancakes, so I said, yes, let's go soon. And then when I was telling her, it's a bit ridiculous to change the logo, she was like, oh, no, they're not. They're not. They decided that was a horrible, terrible idea. They came to their senses, and they are not proceeding with their woke agenda. So they made a very, very smart corporate move. Anytime I see these corporations go woke, generally they go broke. So they're better off just sell your product, be great at selling your product, and that's it. We don't got to get all political. We don't got to get all weird. Just give me some Cracker Barrel. Take me back a century. Let me see guns on the wall. Let me see all this nice vintage stuff on the wall. Let me buy some pop. We call it soda, but back then they all called it pop. Let me get some pop, please. Cracker Barrel, great store. Represents America well, always has. Don't change it. Don't fix it. Especially don't fix it when it ain't broken. But you know what is broken, folks? The system that all of us, unfortunately, here in America, here in the West, unfortunately, can and do fall victim to. When economies collapse under the weight of too much debt, we enter what I call a debtpression. A depression caused not by the lack of resources, but by financial overextension. And mind you, we have been in this debtpression for years now. But finally, people are finally acknowledging it. Every cycle in history shows the same story. Excuse me. Governments borrow too much, banks lend recklessly, consumers overspend, and eventually the bill comes due. When it does, currencies weaken, assets deflate, and ordinary savers find themselves trapped. But while most panic, a prepared few find ways to grow wealth even as the system staggers. And remember, we've been rolling with the punches, because this system has been staggering, and it's making us, practically everybody, dizzy. The key is understanding the nature of a depression. Unlike a normal recession, which can be shallow and temporary, we've been through a good amount of them already. A depression, it lasts longer and it cuts deeper because debt still has to be repaid or defaulted on. That means as the days go on, more businesses are going to close, more banks are going to tighten, and the government is going to print money in desperation. It's going to keep doing that. But as we've all seen, this printing, the printing of all this fiat money, all this made up money, all this paper, it doesn't even solve the problem. It masks the problem temporarily. And it comes at the cost of our purchasing power. Cash, we were taught, it's safe. But how is it safe when it rapidly loses its ability to buy anything of value? You need more money now to buy a house. You need more money now to buy silver. You need more money now to buy gold. You need more money now in general. This is where precious metals are essential. Silver and gold are not promises on paper. They are tangible stores of value. When currencies weaken, metals shine, literally and financially. Stacking silver especially gives the everyday person a fighting chance in a depression. It's accessible, it's divisible, and historically proven to outperform when trust in the system evaporates. An ounce of silver in your hand cannot be erased by a bank failure or inflated away by a central bank's latest scheme. The strategy isn't about chasing short-term price spikes. The strategy is about ownership. A disciplined stacker builds ounces the same way others build savings accounts. Slowly, consistently, without panic, ideally. Over time, those ounces accumulate into a real safety net. When neighbors are rushing to withdraw cash from closed banks, the stacker holds wealth outside of the system, untouched by digital freezes or bail-ins. And in every crisis, opportunities appear. Land, property, businesses, even vehicles often sell at distressed prices because people need liquidity. We all need liquidity. The one who owns precious metals can step in with real value while most scramble. That's how fortunes are quietly made in the shadows of financial collapse. Not by luck, but by foresight, which is what we're seeing with a number of individuals who have already leveraged themselves accordingly. A depression destroys the careless, but rewards the prepared. Stacking and owning precious metals is not a fringe idea. It is financial self-defense. History shows that silver and gold, they're not only investments, they are lifeboats. When the waves of debt crash, those who stacked wisely, they're not only going to survive, they're going to have the chance to get rich while the majority sink. But folks, as always, thank you so much for joining us for another evening, another episode of Silver Dad Knows. God bless you, God bless your household, and God bless America.